Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your host, your co-host, Seth Greene. Today with me is Alex Mehr from Mehr US Retail E-commerce Ventures, former Zeus co-founder and investor. Alex, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm from Famous AI Labs.
AI Labs. All right. So you've had a unique journey from, I believe, mechanical engineering to NASA to Zeus to a whole bunch of other things. Can you walk us through a little bit of that journey and kind of how you got to Famous AI Labs today?
So the first half of my life, I grew up really wanting to be a scientist. And I got my PhD in engineering, and I worked as a scientist for a couple of years, published papers and all that. But then I decided, you know what? I call it the regret minimization framework. I'm going to regret if I don't try this entrepreneurship thing. So, simply put, I crossed the Rubicon and I never went back. So my first company, Zeus.com, we started it at the beginning of the app movement. Basically, it was websites before that. Apps were not even a thing when we started. iPhone App Store didn't even launch until 2008. We started in 2007. I started building apps, and we eventually landed on online dating app, and we were a category leader for quite a few years. And that's where my journey started. And for the past 2 years, I've been dabbling in AI because I see the exact same trend that happened with application movement happening in AI. And I can unpack that whatever direction you want to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's dive right in. What, in your words, what do you think that trend is, and how are you capitalizing it and helping others to do the same?
The trend is actually the strongest, most life-changing trend that I've seen. And here's the main difference. Every previous technology wave that I've seen, personally witnessed, was some sort of, okay, let's enhance something that us as humans do. Okay, this is the first time that I feel like technology is actually replacing human activity in a lot of cases, does the job better than humans, not enhance, does better. And that is, to me, like a paradigm shift that cannot be easily, I don't think I'll witness another one of these in my lifetime. And for entrepreneurs specifically, what has happened, I've always said that the world rewards idea machines disproportionately. Go back in history, look at Leonardo da Vinci, Picasso, Thomas Edison, these days Elon Musk. They have put volume, a huge body of work out. So all of them were idea machines. They had a ton of ideas, but that wasn't really applicable to a lot of people, because people, once you have a lot of ideas, you need to be top-notch in execution, which a lot of people don't have the skill set or the resources to actually pull off. So the common advice was, do one thing, stick to one thing, and do it well. And it was applicable to a lot of people. Nowadays, with AI, you can execute ideas super quickly and cheaply. And that is, to me, like opened the world that only, was available to Thomas Edison's of the world, opened it to average person. So I tell people, become idea machines, like have a lot of ideas and use AI to launch them quickly and rapidly. And that's, I think, a major shift.
Absolutely. What are some of the biggest challenges that you're seeing that the applications that you're developing in the AI world are helping business owners overcome?
Oh, everything. It is. It's actually touching everything. So I see a lot of entrepreneurs coming on our platform. They use famous.ai specifically to build apps and products. And I see everything from, internal use case. I want to build an app that, customer fills out the form. Let's say it's an agency, fills out a form. I want that form data to go into an application, build a nice proposal, automatically shoot off to the end client, like a proposal automatically built with a human review. And from there, which is internal use, all the way to I want to build an iPhone app that does fitness tracking and weight loss for keto diet based on my own formula. Let's say a health and wellness coach. It's like runs the whole gamut. And with that actually comes a challenge, which I'm realizing a lot of entrepreneurs have. Essentially, because everything is being touched with AI and can be attacked. Like every sector of the market can be attacked by entrepreneurs. I call them barbarians. So with barbarians, it's kind of think of like establishment as Rome, and ultimately barbarians sacked the Rome because they were always fighting on the fringes. They had nothing to lose. Rome had everything to lose. It was like a static, like professional army, and barbarians, they would just attack and they would get fended off and they would come back tomorrow. So I think AI and AI tools are empowering the barbarians, the underdogs. Okay, which means you can essentially attack any part of the Roman Empire. And let's say established businesses, think of them as Roman empires. And with that, the people who don't have massive OCD actually succeed in that because they're like, oh, I'm going to just do a quick attack on this side, see if I win. If not, I retreat and I attack on this side, see if I win. Those people are going to be hugely rewarded because end of the day, they're going to find like the loose parts of the establishment that they can take down, in an asymmetric warfare scenario. So that's the big trend that I see. It's like, think of it as a, um, you know, barbarians resurgence. So it's like, I'm talking about like the person that is like a solo entrepreneur and has limited resources. That's like, I love it because I'm essentially arming the barbarians to take down the establishment, and it's a very fun game to be a part of.
I love the analogy. What are some of the most creative ways you've seen people apply it?
Oh, everything. Like they essentially take on. Essentially, this is the trend that I see. They take on, let's say, Uber. I have like a whole bunch of people that are attacking. Like let's say Uber is a perfect example: food delivery or passenger delivery, end to end. So okay, it looks like Roman Empire. Okay, it's like feels undefeatable. But then you see people that are like in a little neighborhood. In fact, someone came on my Zoom call and they were in sort of, I forgot, I think Florida. It was like a huge gated community resort, and they drive around in golf carts in it, like one of these high-end neighborhoods. And his was, you know what, my people in my community, they want food delivery, and the only way to get it to them is with golf carts really quickly. So I'm going to create a food delivery thing from restaurants in the downtown with car and golf carts to people's doors. It's going to be faster, cheaper, and more tailored. And I'm going to just service my community. That was not a project that was easily deliverable before AI builders. It would have required a huge amount of resource to build a project like that and all the things. Now, that barbarian, hopefully nobody gets insulted by my analogy, but I love the concept. It's like, okay, this is the Roman Empire, Uber Eats. This area, I know how it works. I know all the restaurants. I can walk to them. I can sign them up. I know all the residents. I can go pass out flyers to their homes. And then I just need to build a little app that does a two-sided marketplace, matches my residents to these, and I hire a bunch of people to do, golf cart food delivery. Boom! It's like with AI, that person now has like a sword and attacks the Roman Empire and carves out a piece. Does it make sense?
That makes total sense. I love that analogy. For our folks watching or listening, who is the ideal user of famous.ai?
Um, we have all sorts. We have enterprise users. We have people who are building it for their inside processes. The, the one that I have in mind, like I build for, and everybody else can use it too, obviously, is the brave soul who doesn't necessarily have a lot of resources. Okay. So they're like, but they have ideas and they want to take on a big project. They're brave and they want to take on a project. So it's essentially someone who's got a job, they have income and stuff like that, but they want to do a side project, or they quit their job and they want to take on a new project. Like, I am gonna, just like I did, I quit my job at NASA and I cashed out my 401k, paid on all the penalties, and started my first company. I didn't have a family back then, so it was easier. I was a full-on barbarian. I went barbarian mode. I love barbarians. I don't know what it is. I just like that underdog, and who's like big dreams, big ideas, but doesn't have a team of 10 and a capital to execute an idea like fully, so they have to use asymmetric warfare.
Well, that sounds amazing. You've achieved so much success in all the different iterations of your business life. What's your biggest challenge now?
I It's interesting. Um, I've been building this company for 2 years now, and I'm really good at tool building. So essentially, building tools, because I can 100%. I only do businesses where I can put myself in the shoes of the customer exactly. Okay, so I know exactly what to build for that end user. So that is my strength. The challenge is really telling people and shifting their mindset at mass scale. You can do it one-on-one, or you can do it in limited Zoom calls and stuff like that, but educating the world that you, big dreamer, you, the idea machine, who has been sitting on your ideas now, and you've always had excuses on, like, okay, I don't have money to execute this. I don't know how to raise capital. I don't have a team to build a, product to actually execute my idea. The challenge is reaching that person and saying, now you can do what you wanted to do. You no longer have an excuse. And if you don't execute, it is on you. So that's sort of like the biggest thing that I have. And then also tactical things, like I see entrepreneurs get stumped with things like they come in and they OCD too much on logo, brand coloring, stuff like that. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Like, go to market quickly. These are the things that unfortunately they were not taught in school, like lean startup, rapid entrepreneurship, guerrilla warfare in entrepreneurship was not taught. And unfortunately, I see a lot of people that either have the belief barrier, which is a mindset issue, or literal, like, tactical know-how that they're missing because they don't understand, okay, let me push. Just because I think an idea is good doesn't mean much. I need to launch it and see how the market reacts and all that, and iterate rapidly. that is my biggest challenge. I'm like, how do I reach a lot of people and tell them you are given a gift from God with AI? For sure, it has some downsides, and probably society has to deal with it. But for the barbarian entrepreneur, let's say, I should write a book called The Barbarian Entrepreneur. For the barbarian entrepreneur, it is a gift. So take it and move fast. That's sort of the message I want to get out. And it's like my biggest challenge is how do I reach people and tell them that? So
Your passion is obvious. What do you like about what you're doing?
oh man, it's I don't know what it is. I love the underdog. I've always loved the underdogs. Even in like UFC fights, I always root for the underdog. It's just like I love the underdog. And I've been an underdog all my life, all my life. So I very much understand underdogs. And I've been at this as an entrepreneur since 2007. And, you know, when I started, I went full barbarian, but then I realized I cannot pull it off just as a barbarian. So I raised capital from VCs and Silicon Valley and all that. And we sold the company, it was successful. But I realize also that a lot of other underdogs like me do not have the access and network to actually do what I do. So the fact that I can enable them with our tool set to do that is just so liberating. I'm like, I can help people replicate what I did at a mass scale. And to give you an idea, when I started in 2007, we didn't start as an online dating app. We started as an app studio because I didn't know what idea works. And we iterated rapidly. Like every week we launch a new app until we hit it. And I realized a lot of people cannot actually do that in real life. And I always knew that. I said, well, the way I did it is probably not replicable for a lot of people. But now with AI, it is actually replicable. So that's what I love about it. I think AI has opened up the door for a lot of people in that regard. And I love it.
Amen to that. Well, we know your time is incredibly valuable. We greatly appreciate you spending some of it with us. For our folks watching or listening who want to learn more, where is the best place for us to send them to learn more about all things Alex and Famous?
The best place to go is famous.ai. It is free to try. Essentially, you explain your web app or mobile app idea to the platform and have it build an MVP, minimum viable product for you. Again, free to try, and then you can upgrade if you want additional access. We make it as affordable as humanly possible because I love the barbarians. And, and that's the best place to start, famous.ai.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching or listening. This has been Seth Greene for Sharkpreneur with Alex Mehr of famous.ai. Alex, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for watching or listening. We'll talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.